Azarias Ruberwa, often identified as Banyamulenge, has long been accused by his critics of serving Paul Kagame's interests in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Like many Rwandaphone political and military figures associated with this history, Ruberwa has been portrayed as a key actor in Rwanda's political and strategic involvement in Congolese affairs. His trajectory illustrates what critics describe as Kigali's method, operating through local identities and alliances, using sympathetic political and military networks to legitimize its interventions, and relying on Congolese actors who can advance objectives favorable to Rwanda from inside the Congolese political system. The historical background goes back to 1996. Since the First Congo War, Rwanda has repeatedly relied on alliances with Congolese Tutsi fighters and political networks, including actors identified as Banyamulenge, as part of its military and political strategy in eastern Congo. Belgian journalist Colette Brackman described this evolution when writing about the First Congo War. According to her account, at the beginning of the war, in 1996, forces presented as Banyamulenge included not only Congolese Tutsis, but also Tutsis from other parts of Congo and Rwandan soldiers. They were initially presented as Congolese citizens fighting for recognition of their nationality and seeking to protect their communities and territory. But Brackman argues that, as the wars continued, some of these armed networks increasingly became instruments serving Kigali and played leading roles in successive military campaigns. She also describes some of the Congolese Tutsi actors involved in these networks as Congolese by birth. Still, Rwanda profoundly shapes them politically and militarily, eventually providing Kigali with an important base of support for its ambitions in the Kivu region. Reports by United Nations experts in the early 2000s also documented Rwanda's extensive military, political, and economic involvement in eastern Congo. But the real problem goes beyond Rwanda. The more uncomfortable question concerns the Congolese themselves. Activists, influential figures, military officers, and politicians who have supported political or armed networks aligned with Rwanda. Some may have done so out of political conviction, others through patronage, personal ambition, opportunism, or simple miscalculation. And this is where Congo must examine its own responsibility. The problem of Congo cannot simply be reduced to one ethnic community. Banyamulenge civilians, like every other civilian population in Congo, cannot collectively be held responsible for the decisions of armed groups, politicians, or foreign governments. The deeper political problem is the existence of Congolese actors who facilitate foreign interference when doing so serves their own interests. Without internal collaborators, political intermediaries, compromised officials, and opportunistic networks, Rwanda would have found it much more difficult to establish and maintain such extensive influence in eastern Congo. Foreign interference becomes considerably more effective when it finds domestic partners. And for nearly 3 decades, that has been one of Congo's greatest weaknesses. But saying this does not mean automatically endorsing everything the Tshisekedi government says about Rwanda. Kinshasa also deserves scrutiny. The Congolese government has repeatedly used the war involving Rwanda and the M23 to mobilize nationalist sentiment and strengthen its political narrative. The question Congolese citizens should ask is whether that nationalist rhetoric has always been accompanied by policies genuinely capable of protecting Congo's long-term national interests. Because it is not enough to denounce Rwanda. It is not enough to denounce Kagame. And it is not enough to denounce the M23. Congolese leaders must also confront the internal political structures, alliances, corruption, opportunism, and compromises that have allowed foreign influence to become deeply rooted in the Kivu region over the last 3 decades. That is perhaps the hardest reality to confront. Rwanda may pursue its interests in eastern Congo, but Congo must also ask why, again and again, it has found Congolese actors willing to help it do so.